Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti. Without further ado, let's get into it with first thing of the week being Cardinals cardinalis, better known as the northern cardinal, the common cardinal, the red cardinal, or simply the cardinal. It is a bird in the genus Cardinalis, which is native throughout much of North America, from southeastern Canada through the eastern United States, from Maine to Minnesota to Texas, New Mexico, southern Arizona, and southern California, and south through Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala. It is also an introduced species in a few locations, such as Bermuda and all the major islands of Hawaii. Northern cardinals inhabit both deciduous and coniferous forests, as well as gardens, parks, orchards, agricultural land, shrublands, and wetlands. Here they feed primarily upon seeds, grains, and fruits, and occasionally upon nuts, tree sap, snails, slugs, and insects. Northern cardinals tend to live in mated pairs or small familial flocks. They are territorial songbirds, with the male singing in a loud, clear whistle from the top of a tree or another high location to defend his territory. Northern cardinals will chase off any rivals from their territory, reaching some 8.3 to 9.3 inches or 21 to 23.5 centimeters in length, and 1.19 to 2.29 ounces or 33.6 to 65 grams in weight, with a 9.8 to 12.2 inch or 25 to 31 centimeter wingspan. The northern cardinal is a medium-sized songbird. The beak is cone-shaped and strong, and the species expresses sexual dimorphism. Females are a reddish olive color and have a gray mask around the beak, while males are a vibrant red color and have a black mask on the face, as well as a larger crest. Juvenile cardinals do not have the distinctive red-orange beak seen in the adult birds until they are almost fully mature. A few rare yellow morph cardinals lack the enzyme to convert carotenoids into red pigments and have yellow beaks and feathers. Northern cardinal pairs often mate for life but may divorce or find a new mate after the death of a previous partner. The pair builds a cup-shaped nest in a well-concealed spot made of thin twigs, bark strips, and grasses, lined with grasses or other plant fibers. Here the mother will lay 1 to 5 eggs, which are mostly incubated by the female for around 12 to 13 days. The young fledge after around 10 days, but will remain by their parents for another few weeks. Under ideal conditions, a northern cardinal may live upwards of 15 years. Next up, we have Scelidosaurus. It is a genus of herbivorous armored ornithischian dinosaur which lived throughout what is now the British Isles during the Senmurian to the Pliensbachian stages of the early Jurassic period, some 196 to 183 million years ago. Throughout the 1850s, numerous fossils were collected from the cliffs of the Black Bin between Charmouth and Lyme Regis in England by quarry owner James Harrison, which he gave to his friend, the then retired general surgeon Henry Norris. In 1858, Norris and Harrison sent some fragmentary limb bones to Professor Richard Owen of the British Museum. Among them was a left thigh bone. In 1859, Owen named the genus Scelidosaurus, an entry about paleontology in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Owen intended to call the dinosaur hind limb saurian, but confused the Greek word skelos, hind limb, with skelis, meaning rib of beef. Hence the name Scelidosaurus, meaning rib of beef lizard. The name was inspired by the strong development of the hind leg. Afterwards, Harrison sent a knee joint, a claw, and a juvenile specimen and a skull to Owen that were described in 1861. On that occasion, the type species Scelidosaurus Harronsoni was named, and the specific name honoring Harrison. Owen had not indicated a holotype, so in 1888, Richard Lydecker designated some of the hind limb fragments described in 1861 as the type specimen, hereby implicitly choosing them as the lectotype of Scelidosaurus. Unfortunately, mixed in with the Scledosaurus fossils had been the partial remains of a theropod dinosaur, and the femur and tibia thus belonged to such a carnivore. This was not discovered until 1968 by Bernard Newman. The same year, B.H. Newman suggested to have Lydecker's selection of the knee joint as the lectotype, officially rescinded by the International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature. In 1994, the ICZN reacted positively and decided that the skull and skeleton would be the lectotype of Scledosaurus. Several additional specimens of Scledosaurus have been recovered, including some fairly complete skeletons with skin impressions, and remarkably well-preserved complete skeleton, which was found in 2000. Reaching around 13 feet or 4 meters in length and 600 pounds or 270 kilograms in weight, Scledosaurus was a robustly built armored herbivorous animal which sported a triangular pointed head and forelimbs, which were shorter than its hind limbs. The posture and gait of Scledosaurus is under debate. While it is generally considered to have been a quadrupedal animal with relatively long arms, bipedal trackways from a Scledosaurus-like animal show that it may have been facultatively bipedal. Since all dinosaurs evolved from bipedal ancestors, representing a transitional form towards the later obligate quadrupedal thyreophorans, like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus. Next up is Taxorhynchites speciosus, better known as the Australian elephant mosquito, is a species of mosquito in the genus Taxorhynchites, commonly known as elephant mosquitoes. They are endemic to the forests, coastlands, and urban environments throughout Australia, ranging from Sydney to New South Wales, northward through Queensland and into the Northern Territory. Adult Australian elephant mosquitoes feed primarily upon nectar, sap, and honeydew, and unlike other mosquitoes, do not bite humans or animals, as they do not require blood for egg production. Reaching up to 0.71 inches or 18 millimeters in body length and boasting a 0.94 inch or 24 millimeter wingspan, they are the largest species of mosquito. They exhibit a striking, dark metallic appearance accented by bright patterns. Their proboscis is bent and recurved, an adaptation suited for feeding on plant-based resources rather than blood. The life cycle of the Australian elephant mosquito encompasses egg, larval, pupal, and adult stages. Females lay white or yellow eggs on the surfaces of water, which hatch within 40 to 60 hours depending on temperature. The slender brown larvae sport large serrated mandibles and are voracious predators, targeting the larvae of other mosquitoes, such as Aedes and Culex. A single larvae can consume hundreds of prey during its development. After anywhere from 25 to 90 days, depending on local conditions, the young fully transition into adults. As adults, Australian elephant mosquitoes may live up to 3 months. Next up, we have Thamnophis sertalis, better known as the common garter snake, is a species of snake in the subfamily Natricanae of the family Cubridae, which is endemic throughout much of North America, being found throughout large swaths of Canada, the USA, and Mexico. Here they are found in an equally diverse range of habitat, including coniferous and deciduous forests, agricultural fields, prairies, streams, swamps, wetlands, alpine meadows, marshes, and ponds. They are surprisingly social snakes, which are known to form fairly large social groups which often sleep and rest together in shared burrows. They are typically diurnal animals which spend much of their days hunting for prey, such as various amphibians, earthworms, crustaceans, insects, leeches, slugs, snails, fish, lizards, and small rodents. They usually dispatch said prey utilizing their venomous saliva. Said venom is incredibly mild and not dangerous to humans, but may cause slight itching, burning, and or swelling at the location of the bite. Common garter snakes are resistant to naturally occurring poisons in their prey. such as that of the American toad and rough-skinned newt, and even have the ability to retain the poisons of their consumed amphibian prey, thus making themselves poisonous and one of the few animals that is both venomous and poisonous. Despite this, common garter snakes are eaten by large fish, American bullfrogs, common snapping turtles, larger snakes, hawks, raccoons, foxes, wild turkeys, and domestic cats and dogs. Most common garter snakes average around 22 inches or 55 centimeters in length, but certain particularly large females are known to get up to 4 feet or 1.2 meters in length. Most common garter snakes have a pattern of yellow stripes on a black, brown, or green background. Over 12 distinct subspecies are known to occur, which sport a wide range of colors, including green, blue, yellow, gold, red, orange, brown, and black. The mating season occurs in spring, during which time they form mating balls, in which one or two females are completely swamped by 10 or more males. In the early part of the mating season, when the snakes are coming out of hibernation, the males generally emerge first to be ready when females wake up. Some males assume the role of a female and lead other males away from the burrow, luring them with a fake female pheromone. After such a male has lured and mated with several said rivals, he races back to the den just as the females emerge so that he is first to breed with them as well. The females may give birth ovoviviparously to 12 to 40 young from July through October. Under ideal conditions, a common garter snake may live upwards of 20 years. Next up is Nanger grantii, better known as Grant's gazelle or the swala grantii. It is a species of gazelle antelope distributed from northern Tanzania to South Sudan and Ethiopia, and from the Kenyan coast to Lake Victoria. It was named after the 19th century Scottish explorer James Grant. The Grant's gazelle is a gregarious, territorial, and sometimes migratory species, which tends to live in mid-sized herds, which for much of the year are separated into all-male bachelor herds and herds comprised of females and their young. They are known to regularly form mixed species herds with Thompson's gazelles. They tend to inhabit short grasslands and arid shrublands, where they are mixed foragers feeding upon a wide variety of grasses, forbs, flowers, leaves, brushes, and shrubs. They get most of the moisture from the plants they eat, so they do not often have to drink water. Grant's gazelles are themselves eaten by cheetahs, African wild dogs, hyenas, leopards, and on rare occasion, Nile crocodiles, reaching around 4.5 to 5.5 feet or 1.37 to 1.68 meters in length and 30 to 37 inches or 75 to 95 centimeters tall at the shoulder, with males being typically heavier at around 110 to 180 pounds or 50 to 80 kilograms compared to females at around 77 to 110 pounds or 35 to 50 kilograms. Grant's gazelles are a relatively large and robustly built antelope. Its coat is beige-orange on the back with a white belly. Both sexes sport a pair of large black lyre-shaped horns, which are stout at the base and clearly ringed. During the mating season, male Grant's gazelles establish strict territories and watch over a harem of females, which he will regularly breed with, fighting any other male that enters said territory and attempting to prevent any females from leaving. After a 198-day pregnancy, a mother's Grant's gazelle will give birth to one or two fawns in a well-hidden place. The young are immobile for the first few days, and once they can walk freely, the mother and young rejoin the herd. Under ideal conditions, a Grant's gazelle will be weaned by 6 months, reach second maturity around 18 months, and may live upwards of 10 years. Next up, we have Kung Pingopterus, a genus of Wuconopterid pterosaur which lived throughout what is now China during the Middle and Late Jurassic period, from 165 to 153 million years ago. The first fossils, consisting of a nearly complete skeleton, was recovered from rocks of the Taojishan Formation in the Lingolongata Jiangshan County in western Liaoning, China, in 2009. In 2010, this specimen was named and described by Wang Zhaolin, Alexander Wilhelm, Armin Kellner, Zhang Shujing, Xinjing, Mingxi, and Tessa Rodriguez as Campinopterus sinensis. The generic name comes from kun, a large fish or whale from Chinese folklore that could transform itself into ping, a gigantic, colorful bird, providing a mythological explanation of the northern lights, with a Latinized Greek pteron meaning wing. The specific name refers to the Chinese origin. In 2017, a second, even more complete specimen was recovered, and a third specimen was described in 2021 by Zhangyu Zhao and colleagues as its own species, Campinopterus antipolycatus. The specific name is from Greek anti meaning opposite and pollux meaning thumb, and refers to the opposed first finger, a thumb on the wing. Since then, several more specimens have been referred to both species, including a fairly famous individual known as Mrs. T, which was preserved guarding an egg, reaching 11.8 to 15.7 inches or 30 to 40 centimeters in length and roughly 3 feet or 90 centimeters in wingspan. Campinopterus sported a thin, elongated snout, long, bony tail, and proportionally large, flexible wings. Most notably, as the name suggests, the T. antipollatus species sported an opposable pollux or thumb on each hand, which is why it's commonly named monkey dactyl. And the last species of the week will be Malotus villosus, better known as the capelin or caplin, is a species of small forage fish in the smelt family, which is found throughout much of the North Atlantic, North Pacific, and Arctic oceans. Capelin are a highly social schooling species which live and travel in large dense shoals, which often number in the thousands. Capelin are planktivorous fishes that forage in the pelagic zone, feeding on both zoo and phytoplankton. Additionally, large adult capelin are known to regularly eat krill and other small crustaceans. Capelin are themselves important food sources for a variety of animals, including whales, seals, seabirds, squid, mackerel, cod, and other fishes. Capelin populations in the Barents Sea and around Iceland perform extensive seasonal migrations. Barents Sea capelin migrate during winter and early spring to the coasts of Norway and the Kola Peninsula of Russia for spawning. During summer and autumn, capelin migrate north and northeastward for feeding. Icelandic capelin move inshore in large schools to spawn and migrate in spring and summer to feed in the plankton-rich ocean areas between Iceland, Greenland, and Jan Mayen. Female capelin are larger, reaching up to 10 inches or 25.2 centimeters in length, compared to males at up to 8 inches or 20 centimeters in length. Both sexes are olive-colored dorsally, shading to a silver on the sides. Males have a translucent edge on both sides of their bodies. The ventral aspects of the males iridesce reddish at the time of spawning. Spawning typically occurs in spring and early summer, with males arriving at spawning grounds typically days or weeks before females. In the North European Atlantic, spawning typically occurs over sand or gravel at depths of 7 to 330 feet or 2 to 100 meters. But in the North Pacific and waters off Newfoundland, most spawn happens on the beaches, with the fish jumping as far up on land as possible, with many often straining themselves in the process. The beach spawning male capelin are considered to be simiparous because they die soon after spawning season is over, whilst in the ocean spawning populations, some die from exhaustion and stress, while others live several more years, often long enough to breed again. Under ideal conditions, beach spawning capelin may live 2 to 4 years, whilst ocean spawning capelin may live 6 to 8. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hope you all have a wonderful day.